Otogi Katsugeki Mameda no Bakeru, Oraku祭太郎の祭難 came out on November 30th, 2023, courtesy of developer and publisher GoodFeel. Since then, there have been a few notable bits and pieces of news surrounding this so-called Ganbare Goemon's spiritual successor, including a couple of updates that came with some new game stages and content, which I'll go over in this video. If you're looking for an in-depth, mostly spoiler-free review on this charming game, check out the one I did shortly after it came out. Thanks for 79,000 views, by the way. Never had a video blow up like that before. Anyway, time for the Mameda no Bakeru Mame news. Unfortunately, the big thing I wish I could say is that Mameda no Bakeru is making its way outside of Japan, finally, but nothing has been announced so far. There was anticipation of such an announcement with the last Nintendo Direct in February of 2024, but it came and went, and while we are getting a sequel to Ender Lilies, which is awesome, no mention was made of the young heroic raccoon dog. GoodFeel is a small company, and I imagine they were quite busy focusing on putting the finishing touches on Princess Peach Showtime, so maybe now that that game has made its whimsical debut, the developers can direct some of their time and effort to an international localization. Despite its weak performance sales-wise in Japan, I still find it hard to believe that Bakeru will remain a Japanese exclusive for too long, and I'm keeping hope alive. But then again, look at what's happened with Goemon. The cycle continues? Anyway, on to the news. Some of the small stuff first. For anyone with a Japanese eStore account, a playable demo of the game launched on January 11th and allows players to play through the first 4 levels, about 45 minutes to an hour of playtime depending on if you try to collect everything. If you're still on the fence about picking this game up and have a Japanese Switch account, download this and give the game a try. I mentioned in my review that Kotoba Comic published a Mameda no Bakeru mini manga around the time the game was first published, and that partnership has continued. It's now a serialized manga in the monthly magazine. The stories expand upon the charming little Japanese alternate reality established in the game, something no fan of Mameda no Bakeru should miss, especially if you're younger. While Kotoba Comic doesn't quite have the widespread readership or name recognition of something like Weekly Shonen Jump, the publication is quite popular with children and has a decades-long history of featuring manga based on video games, which includes Nintendo franchises like Splatoon and Super Mario, both of which can be found in the pages of Kotoba Comic today. Whether the exposure to such a large audience will lead to a significant increase of interest in Bakeru and Company remains to be seen, but it certainly helps get wide, adolescent eyes on the product. Additionally, a full first volume of Bakeru's manga adventures was published on February 28, 2024 through Tento Mushi Comics, a subsidiary of Japanese publishing giant Shogakukan, who also produces Kotoba Comic, as you'd expect. The Tento Mushi label is associated with dozens and dozens of popular manga in Japan, with its most well-known being Fujiko F. Fujio's legendary manga, Doraemon, so it's kind of a big deal for Mameda no Bakeru. Nintendo Dream, a popular gaming magazine in Japan that covers all things Nintendo, included a couple of Mameda no Bakeru tracks with a special Switch music compilation CD in their June 2024 edition. And no, I'm not a time traveler, the June publication actually came out on April 19th. Other tracks that are a part of this collection come from big titles like Unicorn Overlord and Eiyuden Chronicle, so along with the manga, hopefully this helps drive some late sales of the game. At last, the meat and potatoes of this video, game updates and new content. As of May of 2024, 4 patches have been made available for the game on Switch. The first was a day 1 patch that fixed a game crashing bug, and the second from December 26, 2024 made some tweaks to improve the user experience, which includes showing the status of souvenirs and fun facts collected within a stage on the pause menu. Pretty standard minor stuff. The third patch was released on February 15th and also fixes more issues related to game performance, but also changes and corrects some of the content and text associated with fun facts. All of these changes can be viewed on the official webpage. However, this third update along with the fourth from April 15th are quite special as they both added brand new content, basically free DLC, something sure to excite fans of Bakeru or Kotoba Comic. The most substantial of the new stuff are 2 new action platforming levels that can be accessed by traveling above the clouds of Japan. The first is a floating island in the shape of the iconic logo of Kotoba Comic. That's very appropriate since this massive land in the sky is called Jima or Kotoba Island, a stage filled with enemies, sights, and scenes that pay tribute to the stories found in the serialized manga magazine. Split up into 5 sections, it's a short but fun romp that uses familiar audio and graphical assets from other stages, with a Kotoba Comic paint job regarding the latter. Enemies are dressed up as characters or are straight up pulled from popular manga titles featured in the comic, such as Grandpa Danger and Keshikazu-kun. This new stage follows the basic rules of most others. Make your way through hordes of party-going punks, discover and destroy 3 Dark Festival lanterns to break a seal on a taiko drum at the end of the level, and beat on said drum until the evil is driven away. Good times, good times. The other bonus level is Korokorojima Goku, which is a darker, drearier version of the aforementioned Korokorojima, essentially the same stage but with difficulty cranked up to the extreme. Power-ups that restore Bakeru's transformation meter aren't dropped by taking out normal enemies, and are sparsely placed in a few select locations, meaning for most of the stage you can't rely on Fishing Pole Man to carry you through the level and you'll be stuck with plain old human form Raccoon Boy. Enemies are also more aggressive and take more of a beating than usual, and health pickups seem a bit sparse. It's easily the most challenging stage in the entire game. Hard times, hard times.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy!
The jump in difficulty is a welcome one though, and that's because one of Mameda no Bakeru's disappointing aspects for many is its severe lack of challenge. With that being said though, this level still ain't all that tough to take down. Like the platforming areas of the main game, there are 5 hidden fun facts and 3 souvenirs to find in both of these stages as well. Instead of info or collectibles related to Japanese geography and culture, however, these are all about the history of Korokoro Comic, which of course makes total sense given this collaboration. Did you know that 2027 will mark the magazine's 50th anniversary? And did you also know that its longest running serialized comic is Super Mario-kun at over 30 years? If you did, you are the king of all otakus, I guess. Your crown, sire. The collectibles range from standard pennants to those acrylic stands that are all the rage these days, to a trophy you can show off to all your friends, all of which can be viewed in Bakeru's huge kettle-shaped airship, the Bunbuku. Nice. Facts and figurines aren't the only collectibles to be acquired in the new updates. Our friend the Mask Salesman has a slew of new Korokoro comic-based merchandise on sale, but only if you say the magic words, and I don't mean pretty please with sugar on top. Instead, a mysterious tanuki statue can now be accessed within the Bunbuku, where you can insert some text, and if the text forms one of the target phrases, a new mask will become available to purchase. The text codes that unlock masks are called Ai no Kotoba, or Words of Love. How can one find out what these Ai no Kotoba are? Well, you won't find them within the game. Rather, they are published in certain editions of Korokoro Comic, a ploy that benefits both parties in this collaboration. They're clever little capitalist pigs, aren't they? Because of the nature of serialized manga, the time frame to pick up the magazines that contain these codes is quite limited, but for those who miss their chance to pick them up, who can't buy them, or just don't care to, GoodFeel publishes the Ai no Kotoba on the official Mameda no Bakeru website at a later date. Pretty cool stuff for a fantastic price. Electricity and possibly an internet connection if you're not mooching off of someone else. In the May 2024 edition of Korokoro Comic, there's a preview of new masks being worked on, so we can expect new updates in the future, hopefully with more stages as well. Personally, I'm hoping for a new racing or shooting level. And that's all I have regarding updates to GoodFeel's Mameda no Bakeru, for now anyway. I'm still holding out for that international release date announcement, which may never come, but once it does, I'll celebrate it with the rest of you. If you can't wait for that, and you're known to tinker with your Switch hardware, an English fan translation patch was prepared and published just a couple of months after the game's release by Team Oceanic. Simply amazing. Well, this is Jimmy Hoppa, and thanks for watching. Bakeru and Goemon fans, take care.